Let's welcome Mr. Alok Mathur, who is having the 2 decades of experience, more than 2 decades of experience in researching, studying and understanding about the aliens. तो आज हम जानने वाले हैं कि ये सारी चीजों का सच क्या है.
Alien, according to me, it's very natural because as you become more and more intelligent, your head size will increase. Your mind becomes so powerful. Why you need your muscles? So alien description, typical grey alien which we see with large eyes and huge head and thin arms, is very natural. It's part of evolution.
Another thing, sir, there is an Area 51. Nowadays, the government of America has released a lot of files, especially for the aliens and other things. Earlier, we used to think that this is only the hypothetical thing, maybe true, may not be.
Somewhere in 1947, this got description. That's what this theory is, that there was an aircraft, alien aircraft, which crashed. And they captured one alien over there, and they learned a lot of, they reverse engineered, and that's how they could make huge bombers and all kinds of fantastic weapons and aircraft by doing the re-engineering. Rock paintings of aliens coming are there in Chhattisgarh jungles. Botitola, there's an ancient cave which is nearly 10,000 years old. It is made from vegetable dye. You can actually see an alien landing. It's anybody can make it. Actually, this knowledge is always there in India. Only thing we never noticed it because we were heavily colonized. That is the whole problem. Ramayana, for example, how do you know it's not a myth? It's actual because, and many of the Westerners, they have borrowed the thoughts. They are far ahead of us. They have taken the thoughts from India, and they have used in their movies and whatever it is. In Shushruta medicine, many of he was an ENT surgeon. He says, what surgical instrument was mentioned in by Shushruta? He said, I'm using it today. How come it was there 2000 years ago? So there was a race which was a reptilian, and they were extremely advanced, and they are the people who gave us all the knowledge of medicine in our country. That's what the whole belief is.
Sir, where the world is going, sir? Now looking into, all those things, all these, the disruptions because of technology and everything, and some countries, they are trying to lead this. And we have, everything available in our scriptures. Why we are so behind, and what we can do as an Indian, as a community or as a country?
Hey, I believe in Sanatan Dharma, and I say only the savior of the world will be India. Let me tell you that.
Hello everyone. Let's welcome Mr. Alok Mathur, who is having the 2 decades of experience, more than 2 decades of experience in researching, studying and understanding about the aliens, about the world, and about lot of things what people call as a mythology. We will be going to learn from him today. तो आज हम जानने वाले हैं कि ये सारी चीजों का सच क्या है. Mathur sahab, thank you so much for taking out time. I am really impressed the kind of knowledge which you just shared.
Actually, this knowledge is always there in India. Only thing we never noticed it because we were heavily colonized. That is the whole problem. We could never think in a scientific manner. We didn't have a scientific temperament in our country. Only now the scientific temperament has started. So these translations were done almost 100 years ago, somewhere in almost 19th century, 1890. So the translator just copied from Sanskrit to English, and it was remaining there for many years. Most of the fantastic things which are discussed, extraterrestrial weapons, aliens, all these supernatural things happening were never studied in a sincere, in a proper manner. The Max Miller, for example, was a German. He translated entire Ramayana Mahabharata from Sanskrit to English. So whatever chapters which they couldn't understand, just imagine in that time, Max Miller's time, 100 years ago, even motor car was not invented. Forget about Wright brothers who came only in 1905. Aircraft was not invented. So human race didn't know what is all that. But these things were already being discussed. It was already there in our scripture for years. Mahabharata was the biggest scripture in the world. More than 1 lakh verses. Even Olympiad of Greece, nothing can compare. Even Bible is nothing. They're only 1/10 of the length what is there in Ramayana and Mahabharata. So that kind of information is there. So most of the scientific information which was there was discarded by many of the foreign authors. They thought it didn't make any sense. Suddenly an aircraft shooting in the air, Vimanas flying. When you don't have an aircraft in the world, I mean, how can you imagine that? So many things were discarded as gibberish and they were thrown away. It's only after years when all these things were invented, then people realize, oh yes, I've got some reference of this. It is there somewhere. Where did I read it? Yeah, it is there. So only when it got invented in real time in the world, then only we started appreciating it. These things already have happened in the past,
existing earlier,
and that is there across in almost in every literature, everywhere you can see the references. Not only in Indian mythology, it's mythology wrong word. It's not a myth. It's a reality because there are a lot of references available which actually Ramayana, for example. How do you know it's not a myth? It's actual because in Ramayana the hundreds and hundred examples of astronomical data is there. Today we know if you can have a model and you can go back in time, I can tell North Star position 10,000 years or which position it had, or whichever star system, everything is computerized, you can find out. So there are hundreds and hundreds of examples given in Ramayana and Mahabharata. And it is describing every scene, every chapter, every incident has been linked to astronomical data. So there are many people who are working here in India and they found out that once you go back in time and you see the astronomical data, it is perfectly matching what is written in the book.
Yeah.
So it cannot be wrong because it's a fact. When you go through it, then you come to know that these are real facts. Most of the, like for example, Ramayana, somewhere the dating is somewhere around 14,000 years ago. And Mahabharata is around 7,500. So there are many chapters, there are a lot of references which are there, which matches across. If you buy system in those times, 14,000 years ago, what used to happen, everything is over there. So it's no more a myth, it's a reality because you can actually see. There are computer models available. You can come to know what happened 1 lakh years before this star system, where that shine used to happen in a particular star. These things are already there in it. So now only we are able to gather. We are taking it very seriously only now. And many of the Westerners, they have borrowed the thoughts. They are far ahead of us. They have taken the thoughts from India and they have used in their movies and whatever it is. So whenever time you think I have something new idea, it's already been implemented by them because somebody has captured the translation because we didn't have a scientific mind. Only with a scientific mind you can come to know. Like you say in medicine, whether it's medicine in surgery, long time back I used to discuss with many ENT surgeons. He used to say in Shushruta medicine, many of the, he was an ENT surgeon. He says, what surgical instrument was mentioned in by Shushruta? He said, I'm using it today. How come it was there 2000 years ago? Retractors, for example, typical retractor which I use for nasal surgery, it's all written there over there. How it has come there? So these things were already there. Like in ancient times, for punishing people, they used to cut the nose, for example. So their description of Shushruta, taking a flap of skin. Plastic surgery has been described in India. Taking the flap and stretching back and reconstruction of nose. So many ENT surgeons said the description of surgery is given is identical to what we are doing today. Just imagine thousands of years ago how this thing has come. And even medicine, it says it is extraterrestrial origin. They say it has come from a serpentine-like race, reptilian race. Lord Shiva, Vishnu, everything is linked with
snake.
So there was a race which was reptilian and they were extremely advanced, and they are the people who gave us all the knowledge of medicine in our country. That's what the whole belief system.
Okay. You were discussing about the very important topic about this Oppenheimer. So what is that Oppenheimer? Suddenly he saw the things.
Because he saw first time the destruction of atomic bomb. Before Hiroshima happened, nobody knew what is atomic energy. So only when uranium was processed more than 50%, uranium-235, and it fissionable material, and they could experiment the dangers and energy released from atomic bomb. Nobody knew what damage it can do. Only after Hiroshima and Nagasaki, we actually came to know that these are the destructive effects of radioactivity. Nobody knew. But when Oppenheimer read Mahabharata, he could understand that what the scenario was described in Nagasaki and Hiroshima was exactly matching what is there in Mahabharata. So 18 days of war, there is a clear-cut definition. There is a clear-cut scene where there is a deployment of an atomic weapon. And typical what happens in an atomic bomb. People run and try to save themselves. Extreme heat produced. The sand turns into glass because the temperature goes to millions of degrees. And plus, the whole glass gets melted. Even today in Mohenjo-daro, many places, there is a lot of radioactivity being seen. That sand is turned into glass. It is possible only after above 2000 degrees centigrade, that such conversion will happen. So it is already mentioned there. Plus, how the people ran into the river, they try to wash out all atomic waste which came. And the typical scenery of the first, when atomic bomb actually explode, what really happens. that plasma creation and the extreme heat exactly matches with what has happened in Hiroshima. So that's why Oppenheimer said that atomic bomb, of course, in new era, in modern era, it occurred in Nagasaki,
Yeah.
but it's already done 1500 years back
Long back, yeah.
in Mahabharata. So he acknowledged that
Okay.
because he had a scientific mind. He could easily understand what has happened in Nagasaki, Hiroshima, and what has happened, what is the description in Mahabharata. It is 100% matching. So when you go through a scientific mind, you will find hundreds and hundreds of scientific examples in our literature. They are very crypted. They're said in a different manner. You need a scientific mind to understand that. What it tells you that there was an era where there are two kinds of people. There were some very advanced people and there's some very backward people. So even today, if you go to extreme remote village of Africa, they may not have seen aircrafts, or they might not have seen NASA's.
Train and the buses
They may not have seen all that.
Yeah.
It's possible. So maybe in those times also, there were some species or some people who had extreme kind of weaponry. They had a lot of advanced equipment which common men just couldn't understand. And the writers who were there, they couldn't describe because they were not people who invented them. They just saw thundering bird, typical. A bird never thunders, only aircraft thunders. So the description of thundering bird. So this is a description because writers were they themselves not scientists. It is not their work. So they were just reporting what they have seen.
Interesting. The Oppenheimer thing, when the Oppenheimer saw this explosion happens and he suddenly remembers when Lord Krishna saw his actual incarnation to Arjuna, and it was a multiple Brahmans and all the multiple solars were there. So he found it is very much similar to that, and he remembers the words from Bhagavad Gita. Another thing, sir, there is a Area 51. Nowadays, the government of America has released a lot of files, especially for the aliens and other things. Earlier, we used to think that this is only the hypothetical thing, may be true, may not be true.
But this typical in New Mexico was somewhere in 1947. This was a description. That's what this theory is, that there was an alien aircraft, which crashed, and they captured one alien over there, and they learned a lot of reverse engineered, and that's how they could make huge bombers and all kinds of fantastic weapons and aircraft by doing the re-engineering. This is the hypothesis which has not been proved because nobody was allowed in that area. So that was there. But I'm not surprised because those rock paintings of aliens coming are there in Chhattisgarh jungles. Gotitola, there's an ancient cave which is nearly 10,000 years old. It is made from vegetable dye. You can actually see an alien landing. It's anybody can make out the scientific mind. You only have to put water. The vegetable oil which is used is still intact. If you ask the local people, they will always tell you that this is not done by us. This is done long back. Only people observed. They saw some people coming over here. They landed, and the aircraft typical looks like an alien aircraft. They're absolutely right. Gotitola, it's there in the YouTube. You can see the video. It just pour water in that, and you will see lovely structures. You can see aliens over that. And alien, according to me, it's very natural because as you become more and more intelligent, your head size will increase. It's understand. When you become so powerful, your mind becomes so powerful. Why you need your muscles? So your muscles will decline. So alien description, typical grey alien which we see with large eyes and huge head and thin arms, is very natural. It's part of evolution. Even we will become. Suppose we go on thinking, we become very intelligent. Because evolution pressure is too much on us. Suppose the head size becomes double, our brain size becomes, don't we look like an alien? We need more of eyes, our eyeball size will increase. We hardly use a muscle. It is seen even today. I mean, you see the muscular size of today and 100 years ago. Do we need muscles? We don't need. Why women are becoming more popular in workers? Because 100 years back, men were required to do hard labor. Women couldn't do that muscle work. Today, women can do you need muscles at all. That's why you see so many women working. The difference comes because you don't need muscle. You have machines to do that. So imagine a civilization which is so advanced, who doesn't need any to use a muscle, bound to lose his muscles. It is already happening.
Interesting.
So a typical huge head, thin hand and legs, short in height, 100% describes evolution of civilization which has become very extremely intelligent. It is not surprising at all. I'm not at all surprised. I really wonder from where this concept has come. Who is the first person who imagined this alien body? It is so natural. It's so typical Darwin-like. Suppose we survive on the earth for another maybe a million years, we will just look like aliens.
So when you were describing this, I was exactly remembering Darwin. You know what he said: the organ which is not in use, which will become
Exactly,
extinct.
exactly. Already many of our wisdom tooth in newborn babies now,
True.
the wisdom tooth is not there.
Yeah.
Why is not there? Because we don't have to chew. Our ancestors had to chew a lot of food, coarse food. We have mostly finished foods. We have ready-made food. We don't need those extra molars and grinders. So maybe in future, the teeth of human teeth will become very, very different from it was there 100 years ago. You don't need to chew at all. You are using taste like food. You are swallowing food more than you are chewing food. And that evolution is already playing part. Now our pancreas is overburdened because our diet is totally changed. Maybe after a few generations, the pancreas size will gradually increase. It will start producing more of insulin. It has to produce, right? Evolutionary pressure is too much on the pancreas. There will be for 100 years, the problem of diabetes will remain, then it will go away. Because then the pancreas will grow, expand, will produce more insulin just to match. Now it says why Indians are so diabetic in nature, because this is the gift of Britishers. It is already proven. Metabolic syndrome. And why? Because in those time, British time, there was always poverty. Food was never available. So the energy used to be kept reserved in the body. Today we are getting much better food, and that's why that suddenly the lifestyle is totally changed. Your pancreas was not designed to eat high carbohydrate food for so many years, especially in India, where you hardly used to get any food to eat. So that is what it is. It is well documented. The Britishers gave us diabetes. We have become diabetes capital because of Britishers. So it will take some time before Indians, the food habits will change slowly. The evolutionary pressure will put on our digestive system, and maybe in the few generations to come, that pancreas will take care. One more thing is cancer. Why it will always think why evolution never take care of cancer. We took care of so many things. Why people still die of cancer? Because the cancer happens always after the birth and before you die. It is not involved during the reproduction. That is why it was not cancelled by evolution. Had cancer cells appeared during the reproduction, evolution would have taken and weeded out the cancer. But it didn't happen. That's why we suffer from cancer today. But slowly, after the new quantum computing, which is going to be another 25 years, a disease like cancer also will be wiped out. We will wonder if human beings ever had cancer. That will question, because today the most intriguing fact is how cancer develops and how it fights. You don't have a algorithm model, you don't have a computer which can predict. A typical example is of cancer of ovarian cancer or gallbladder cancer. It is impossible to tell if some person, a lady gets ovarian cancer, what will be the mode of cancer spread in 5 months, 6 months. You have no way of telling it. No way. It is because it beats all computers, and it is there in nature also. Nature follows quantum. We don't know what is quantum. So once we develop the quantum computer, then we will find out ways and means of finding out how cancer cells grow, and then it will make a big difference in medicines also, because we'll able to actually tailor-made medicines without doing clinical trial. Because that quantum mechanics, the quantum computer will do all the simulation studies of medicine and tell you which medicine will be useful in which particular disease.
So I see the future in the healthcare industry. It is going to be transformed. There is a company which is established by Elon Musk called Neuralink. Neuralink is all about they are putting chip in the human brain to understand the DNA and the probability in the next generation. What kind of disease may occur, so that it will be more of preventive kind of thing. What you said is absolutely right, and this is actually working. And this experiment was done on the mice earlier, and it was successful. And US FDA has given them the approval to have more cases in the clinical trials in the humans, and which is going to be very, very successful very soon. And we all will see a lot of transformation which is happening, wiping out all this disease, because you will take a lot of preventive actions.
In fact, everybody is excited about quantum computing because it talks about subatomic particles and talks about spin of electrons. It is radically different than normal computer, which do 0-1 coding. It's remarkable. It can be million times more powerful than a normal computer. So you can just imagine what kind of work we will be able to do. Today, Google has already prepared a chip. But if you see a typical quantum computer, you will see a small chip and you will find a lot of pipes. What are those pipes? The pipes are nothing but liquefied helium, because quantum computing works at minus 272 degrees. You need to go that level at electron level. Little bit of heat will damage the transfer of electrons. You will not able to record the change in electron spin. That's why you need helium. Same like an MRI machine. MRI machine works. Why the sound of MRI comes? Because liquid helium is getting circulated. You need a supercooling magnet. The supercooling happens because of liquid helium. That's why the sound comes. So there's a compressor which runs and converts liquid helium, which cools down the magnet, becomes a supercomputer. And it generates a magnetic wave which are million times more than what the Earth offers. That's why from protons, water molecules get aligned to that magnetic machine, and you can visualize each and every issue. One of the finest inventions for me in 21st century is a MRI machine. It's just fantastic to understand. And another is one PET scan, which also I heard about in 1990 only. First time in Asia, it was there in King Fahd Hospital in Saudi Arabia. The concept is so unique because they use radioactive oxygen. And today it is used in almost every hospital now. It's available. It can very good prognostic tool. In fact, if you do every year a PET scan, you can always predict whether you have cancer or not, because cancer spreads very slowly. It may take 10 years, 15 years for the cancer to grow. So a PET scan will tell exactly where the metabolism is high, because you give radioactive oxygen inside. So a typical cancer cell will consume more oxygen because it is growing faster than normal cell. So when it consumes more oxygen, the radioactive oxygen also is taken up from the cell, and in scintigraphy you get that signal as a light source. So we can come to know where your beautiful entire human organs can be formed because of this. And wherever you have high intensity dots, those are the places where already there's extra metabolic activity happening. So it's one of the most fantastic thing which has happened. PET scan and MRI is one of the, and in near future the diagnostics will be huge. You will be able to smell. One thing very exciting which I heard about cancer, how dogs can smell cancer. Dogs can. It is already known. Dogs can smell hypoglycemia. So many diabetic patients who used to get hypoglycemic attack, their dogs used to start barking. The reason was scientific, because there's low sugar, some chemical acetones are produced. So the acetone has got very powerful smell. So the dog used to get the smell of acetone. And that used to start barking. Something usual has happened. Believe it or not, dogs can come to know about various cancers. They can smell cancer. Because every cancer will release some kind of chemicals which a dog can smell, because dog has got 5,000 times more capacity of sensory compared to humans. 5,000 times more. Just can you imagine? It's something like if you put 1 teaspoon of fragrance in 5 times Olympic size pool, it will be able to find out 1 teaspoon of fragrance. It is that powerful. So they can capture. So there are a lot of scientific programs they are working on it, how they can smell cancer. But they're trying to do with the use of computers and synthetic sensors, but nothing compared to what you see in canines. So this is one area which can be developed. Tomorrow, if you develop sensors which can smell cancer, just imagine, just smell out cancer and you can come to know the person is going to get.
Interesting, sir. So many interesting facts you shared, sir. That is why, sir, dog has been, into all this criminal thing, they make
the sense of smell we are captured. They have to be trained for that. So there's something which we human beings are just learning. I'm just trying to point out that how limited our capacities are. Because in our own earth and all, you have animals which have got such huge kind of abilities to understand nature, which we don't have.
Sir, where the world is going, sir? Now looking into, all those things, all this, the disruptions because of technology and everything, and some countries, they are trying to lead this. And we have, everything available in our scriptures. Why we are so behind, and what we can do as an Indian, as a community or as a country?
See, I believe in Sanatan Dharma, and I say only the savior of the world will be India. Let me tell you that. Because no country in the world has got that huge historical, civilization which India has got. We have seen everything. Only India can save the world. The temperament lies only with India. Because most people will kill themselves. India will not do that. The ancient wisdom which India has and the temperament which India has, only India can save the world. So my predicament is in the next 20, 30 years, India will become #1 country in the world. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So we have that wisdom because Earth can get damaged. It's the there is a lot of coming back to the alien theory. There are a lot of theories which say that it's impossible for an alien civilization because first of all to prepare a Earth like atmosphere kind of it is very difficult. Chances 1 in million. Then suppose even there's intelligent life, most probably they will kill themselves. They will destroy themselves. It could happen. There could be many intelligent planets, but they will never reach that level. So, as per there's a Japanese scientist physicist who says that there are 3 types of civilization: Type 0 civilization, Type 1, Type 2, Type 3 civilization. So we are in actually Type 0 civilization, which we are still consuming coal and energy sources only from dead plants,
Conventional.
which is producing a lot of heat. And there's a lot of theories that most of the suppose there are even alien worlds which are life is already available and they become intelligent, they will mostly kill themselves and destroy the earth. And a lot of evidence which are available, it happens quite often. The earth, the nature, the earth will get heated up and they will destroy the planet, which is happening now. If we don't control maybe 100, 200 years, we will destroy ourselves. Unless the technology takes over and somehow we transfer from 0 to Type 1 civilization, where we learn to get energy from sun or some other source and we don't allow the destruction of the earth which is happening. So typical Type 1 will take use of solar energy. Lot of information we get in internet about Dyson spheres. There are some ancient, there are some alien civilization which can capture energy from the sun directly. So they don't have to burn fossil fuel like in Earth. So once you cool down their planet, then obviously you will be able to grow. Type 1 civilization which has, which can capture the entire solar system. And Type 2 civilization, entire galaxy, they can be master of galaxy. So there will be a time where human memory, I always get intrigued, what is this immortality about? What is this immortality? According to me, immortality means there are 2 things. One is your memory. Suppose your memory remains forever, so you are immortal. And other is consciousness. Now, what is consciousness? Nobody knows. They are neuroscientists, all are studying. They don't know where is their consciousness. It is in the brain, where it is, we don't know still. So tomorrow maybe you will develop such kind of computers which will individual's memory, lifetime memory can be stored in a chip, which you can store. You can send anywhere. You can transfer a memory. So your memory is there. A person may not be there, but his memory is there. So that way he becomes immortal, his memory. But what about consciousness? Can you transfer your consciousness also along with the memory? That's a question mark. So this is a question of the future. So immortality in our ancient literature, there are a lot of Chiranjeevis and a lot of mention has happened.
Hanuman,
On the scientific manner, when I analyze, I read one long back Amar Chitra Katha. I used to read about Lord Hanuman, and there was a beautiful description of Lord Hanuman. He is describing various eras, Dwapara age, different ages, and he's actually saying that in that age the plants were very huge, human beings were very tall. This age, people have become short, the trees have become small. How does he know that? How does he know so many ages have passed? Where was he? Possibly he was a time traveler. The time traveler is possible, like everybody knows, near the black hole, the time slows down. Einstein has already said it is possible. Maybe, and I'm surprised in our own literature such thing is mentioned. I saw this long back. I read about when I was a child. I didn't understand anything. I was wondering what is he talking about? Lord Hanuman, different ages. I just read and I forgot it. Now when I remember, I said, my God, that time I didn't have the intellect, neither understanding, because I was only 10 years old. So I didn't know what is written over there. Maybe the writer or Amar Chitra Katha doesn't know what they've written. But now I realize I correlate with Chiranjeevi. So was he a time traveler? How did he know the various ages? There is one theory which says that ozone production on the earth was very high once upon a time, and which is very well known. The height of trees were very huge. There were dinosaurs 65 crore years ago. Now suddenly everything is shrunk. Maybe there was some experiment also done. The ozone layer does not allow irradiation of sun. There's a direct link. Today, why is Earth so habitable, very good? Because most of the damage of the sun is taken care by the Earth's magnetic field and the atmosphere. Today, why the moon is so dangerous? You cannot survive for First of all, it is vacuum, and you're 100% all the time bombarded with collision particles from the sun. That is on heliosphere, and then of course the space also puts a lot of irradiation to you, cosmic particles. So human body cannot survive all this gamma radiation. We'll die immediately. But that doesn't happen. Why there's an ozone layer only? Because ozone layer protects our bodies from foreign particles and high energy particles, and that can cause DNA damage. So possible Lord Hanuman had that idea, and it seems due to meteorites and some other thing, the ozone layer has got weakened over the countless of years. Maybe in thousands or lakhs of years ago, the ozone layer was very powerful, and that time you had large amount of population which was very tall and huge. Everything was big in those times. Now everything is become short. Which is described by Hanuman. First of all, how did he know over the so many years this change has happened? That is itself is very intriguing, very difficult to understand. Where as a scientific person, there's no explanation to that. But it has happened. It is written. Somebody has written that's in
scriptures.
Description. So which is a fact, and it's scientifically it is proved. Today, if you protect your DNA, if the ozone layer is powerful, the DNA will survive much more than what is currently doing. The DNA, everybody knows if you go to in a beach in a hot day, your DNA will get damaged, or if you go near a gamma ray source, you will die within few hours because that radiation will kill your DNA and destroy. So you want to prolong life, probably your DNA has to be protected. So I'm not surprised by that.
Very nice, sir. Very, very interesting thoughts. I think now the human consciousness, what you said that the consciousness is itself is not properly defined by the people, what is called the consciousness. If human need to really expand in multiple dimensions in terms of understanding the nature, understanding the universe and the cosmos, what are the probably, it's again a big question mark. I'm just asking you, what do you feel from your own studies of the scriptures and all those books, sir?
In fact, no, I really what I've got from all the scriptures is how to take care of nature. Right? It's fantastic. I mean, everything many things which we are doing has a scientific base, which many of our earlier wisdom, the people who were there, they knew that wisdom, which were translated in books and in a different manner in a different way of examples out of that. But if you take care of the nature, you respect nature, the earth is like Mother Earth will protect you, and then we will get a chance to get into that type 1 civilization. Otherwise, we will not get a type. We will not go into. Remember, if you remain zero type civilization, we keep on using fossil. Two things will happen. We'll destroy the earth by the overheating, and we'll have no energy left. Either way, we will not able to do anything. For all intelligent work to advancement, you need energy. Without energy, nothing happens. So you have to produce energy without destroying the nature. Just an example today, without use of fossil fuel, if you have tremendous amount of energy, what not you can do? You can go to various stars, you can develop new systems, you can develop new computers, you can develop new rockets, so many things you can do. The technology is that Einstein already said time dilation is a reality 100 years ago. We don't have technology today. It is there and it is proven. Today, GPS satellites, there's a microsecond difference comes between in Earth and in the space. It's recorded. All the GPS satellites are programmed to match GPS on the Earth. If they don't match it, you will go 20-30 meters ahead. Because there's a lag of time in the satellite, because satellites are 200 kilometers above. So the dilation thing is already proved by science. We don't have the technology to reach the other stars or other things. Because there's a limitation of speed of light and all that. You can never achieve speed of light as per physics. Your mass increases, that is impossible to reach. So there are many issues which we cannot solve unless we have energy. Without energy, nothing will happen. And energy has to be produced without damaging the nature. If you damage the nature, then you will not grow, and that will be end of the civilization. So and you have to stop fighting wars. You have to people have to understand in the solar system, the galaxy, everywhere, it's very difficult to get a planet like Earth, which is so nurturing. It is so dangerous, it is so horrible to live outside in space. There's literally nothing there in space, and you will not survive in few seconds over there. There's so much damage it will happen. So understanding how hostile the environment is outside the earth. Why humankind doesn't understand that what you have got, why not we take care of that earth?
Saving the
It is so hostile outside. That question everybody should understand, that you are very lucky to be born over here. And you have to quickly get from zero type to type 1, otherwise there is no chance for the earth, because then you will destroy yourself. Then it will take again hundreds of years, whole cycle will get repeated. It seems that maybe some ancient civilization may have evolved, but they don't cross that 0 to type 1,
Hmm.
and they go on rotating continuously. They develop and they destroy. They develop and they destroy. Very rarely, lakhs and lakhs out of maybe 1 or 2 civilizations have reached that stage. Probably those civilizations must have come to the earth. We don't know.
Sir, looking into all these things, the cosmos, civilization, and everything, there is something called the theory of God. Do you believe that God exists? If it is exists, how do you describe this?
That's a very, very difficult question because as per science, you cannot prove God.
Yes.
But it's more of a belief. It's more of a belief. Now, there are a lot of theories. Some people say we live in a black hole. There are multiverses. Typical. Now, there was earlier 100 years ago, they were saying the Earth, the Big Bang theory,
Yeah.
and the Earth is, the universe is expanding.
Yes.
It has come to almost 33 billion years. Can you imagine? That's the length of the universe.
Yeah.
So earlier it was stated that the universe will go on expanding forever. So when the universe expands continuously, all the stars' energy will die. Even the sun is going to die. When the sun dies, the life will get over. So all the stars in the universe one day will definitely die. Then the universe will become very cold and life will also disappear. So how it is it possible that there's no life will get over?
Yeah.
Is it possible? Somewhere in both the cases. Case number one, the universe goes on expanding forever, trillions of years. Life will not exist because the star has got limited life. 4.5 billion, the sun will not survive. All the stars will disappear. They'll ultimately hydrogen convert into helium, energy over hydrogen over, matter is over.
Yeah.
So there's no life means one entire universe, the life is over. You mean to say God will allow that to happen? Probably there's some other universes which are already existing. Maybe life exists in some other universe which we don't know.
So
both the cases. And suppose they're crunching happen. Now they say it is crunching. Universe is crunching. Even it crunches, it will go back to the Big Bang.
Yeah.
If it crunches, again life will get destroyed. Because everything will get into a point.
Yeah.
So either way, life is going to go on in trillions of years. So you mean to say there will be no life in the universe? How is that possible?
So I still remember.
One thing which I say, you can, so many experiments have been done, you just cannot create life. It is impossible to create life. Because life is about consciousness. Yes. Consciousness exists in every human, every microscopic bacteria or virus has got some amount of consciousness. Yes. Which we don't understand what it is. So that consciousness is what I feel is God.
I remember when Lord Krishna came into the incarnation and shown the what I am to the Arjuna, and it was shown there that I am the destroyer, I am also the creator. So which clearly says that if one thing destroys, another thing is
multiverse is very much there in our Moses scriptures.
Yeah.
So it's a Brahma lok, for example.
Yeah.
There are different lokas.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of description which is mind-boggling. Thousands of years ago, somebody is talking about multiverse. When Europe was they're burning witches on the cross. Can you imagine? We were thinking about multiverse. So just imagine, there was no Renaissance period, but these concepts are so unimaginable today. It was there in our scriptures. Thousands of years ago, it was all there. Multiverse is already described in us.
Yes.
There's a theory of time dilation. It is already mentioned. There was a king who went to Lord Brahma's abode and he said, I want my daughter to get married with the best bridegroom. Then after some time he said, sorry, it will not be possible because you are here for a few minutes, but your earth already thousands of years have passed by. Yes. So that is time dilation. This concept itself, how it is. Now some people will rubbish it. Hey, you people are people, what do you know? Okay, we were stupid people. We were only cultivating rice. We didn't have any brains. From where this idea came? If we were so primitive person thinking about different universe and time dilation before Einstein was born thousands of years ago can be done by ordinary humans who are eating ordinary food and hunting animals. Can they think of such a fantastic ideas? It's not possible. The concept is really fantastic. We have understanding now because now after Einstein only we understood what is time dilation. What are wormholes? How to cross time from the wormhole? These things were never known 100 years ago.
Interesting. So much to learn from you, sir. It's really amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all those wisdom and the knowledge and the deep concepts about the Hindu, or maybe the scriptures of Sanatana. It is so deep. I think the world requires not many years and the intellect to understand this all. Whatever people say, this is all their probably foolishness or their immaturity, whatever they depict us to show their civilization is much more far ahead. And but thank you so much, sir, for sharing all those things.
Thank you.
Thank you.